Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel. I've been absent for a few days now. January really got on top of me, and I'm not gonna apologise for the slip in schedule because I've been very busy and I've had important things to do, and that's always going to be more important than booktube, as much as I love booktube. But yeah, I'm letting you know that I'm hopefully back on track now for a few videos at least, and I will keep you posted on any other important developments in my life. So I'm back with my February TBR video first. This is going to be a weird TBR because there's like 1,000 readathons taking place. I'm not entirely sure which ones I'm going to take part in yet. I'm definitely taking part in VaLITines not a thon, it's just called VaLItines I think. But I'm definitely taking part in that, and I'll be talking about that in this video. I'm definitely taking part in Thrillerathon, which I'll do a separate video for later on in the month because that's not until later. So VaLItines is a month-long readathon thing which I found out about from Chapter Kate, and I'll link her video down below, and on her video she's got links to all the other hosts' channels and all that stuff. But basically there's a whole bunch of challenges. You have the entire month to do all of them. You don't have to do all of them, and I'm not doing a fair few of them, but the ones I am definitely doing I'll be talking about as I talk about the books that I'm reading. So I'll introduce the book, I'll talk about what challenges, if any, it's fulfilling, and then at the end I'll also talk about other challenges that I want to do but I haven't picked specific books for because at the moment I'm an unorganised mess. First book I'm going to read this month is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This is a romance, which is not my usual genre, and this is basically about a woman with Asperger's who hires a male escort to teach her about physical aspects of love because she's never enjoyed kissing or anything like that. And from what I've heard, it's very steamy, it's fairly romantic, and it sounds really interesting. I've got one of my friends that is actually reading this at the moment, which is really cool, so I need to find out what she thinks of it. She lives far away, I don't see her very often. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one, and it is fulfilling the VaLItines challenge, which is to read a steamy scene. It's also fulfilling the challenge that is to read a book that you think is going to warm your heart. I'm not sure how romantic this is versus steamy, but I'm hoping that there's at least some romantic bits in it and I'll end up thinking it's a really cute story. The next book on my TBR is Odd One Out by Nic Stone. This was on my 2018 releases list that I really want to read in 2019, and Nic Stone wrote one of my favourite short stories in I think it was one of the Christmas collections. I think it was Snow in Love, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that was a really cute short story, and this sounds amazing. It's basically a love triangle slash friendship story about these three people who are all queer and all kind of fancy each other slash are really good friends with each other. It sounds really interesting. I'm intrigued to read a story like this, and I'm hoping it's done really well, but knowing that I enjoyed Nic Stone's previous story so much, I'm sure I'm going to love this one as well. So this is fulfilling the challenges. It might also warm my heart if The Kiss Quotient turns out not to, so either one of those could fulfill that challenge. And it's also written by a black author, so it's fulfilling that challenge. It also has red on the cover, and lots of the books I've picked this month have got red on the cover, so I'll definitely be fulfilling that challenge one way or another. The next book on my TBR I actually have in physical form, and that is The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslye Walton. This is a fantasy witch type story about a girl whose family has been cursed for a long time, and her family are witches, and then she finds this spell book which contains incredibly powerful magic, and she finds out the spell book was written by a mother, and it's magic that her mother shouldn't have been able to perform. And all magic has a sacrifice, so I assume it's about kind of the sacrifice and it's going to link to the curse and all that stuff. I absolutely love this cover, it's gorgeous, and it fulfills there is a VaLItines challenge for a beautiful cover. It also has red on the cover because it's got the little metallic-y red bits. It was a gift My partner gave it to me for Christmas, and I think that's all the challenges that it fulfills for Valentine's. But yeah, I'm quite excited to read this one. It's not my usual thing, which is quite nice and refreshing in a way. And I am getting quite fond of stories about witches. I actually just started watching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, and I'm really enjoying that, so I'm into the witchy vibes at the moment. So the other challenges for Valentine's that I think I'm going to try and do are someone rated a book 5 stars, which I actually forgot to mention, but the Kiss Quotient is fulfilling that one. A couple of booktubers I watched rated it 5 stars. I think Chelsea Dolling Reads did, to name one. And also Heather from Bookables did as well, I'm pretty sure. Or if she didn't rate it 5 stars, she really enjoyed it. One of the challenges is to read a standalone, and pretty much every book I read this month will be a standalone, I'm fairly certain, so pick any of them to fulfill that one. One of them is to read a book over 400 pages, which I'm going to have to look up all the books that I'm planning to read, because I read on my Kindle primarily, and it has all different kinds of page counts on Goodreads, so I'm going to base it off my Kindle number of pages rather than the Goodreads number of pages, which means I have to kind of reach the end of the Kindle book to work out how many pages it is. But the other one is to read a book that's under 200 pages, and I actually just completed that challenge with the first book I read this month, which is the 8th Princess Diaries book. That was like 160 something pages, I think. I finished that at 1 a.m. last night, so it counts as this month, so that challenge is already done. The other one I went on to do is to read a retelling. I've got a couple of retellings on my like most hyped books TBR video things, and I've got loads on my TBR anyway, so I should be able to pick one of them if I'm in the mood for it and read that. And finally, the other challenge that I really want to do is to read one that fulfills another challenge for another readathon, and I'll be picking one of my thriller-a-thon books for that one, and I'll probably combine it with another challenge as well. Assuming I don't do any other readathons. If I do any other readathons, who knows what will happen, because to be honest, I don't even know what I want to read this month yet, and it's just started. So the next set of books on this TBR video are all from my Kindle Unlimited subscription. So right before Christmas, I got a Kindle Unlimited subscription, and it was basically 99p for 3 months. And I haven't read a single book using it, so it ends at the end of February. So I got out some like random horror books and thriller books, and if I don't read these this month, basically I can't read them because the subscription is going to run out. So the first one is The Heartbreaker by Mark Young, and this is a bunch of, I think it's 13 short horror stories. I'll probably definitely read this one because I can read horror short stories quite easily, and it'll be a nice break in between other books. The next one is called Horror in the Woods by Lee Mountford, and this is basically like a slasher film but a book. So a bunch of teenagers get lost in the woods, and there are cannibals who live in the woods, and they're going to hack them to pieces. I don't know if I'll enjoy this, I don't even know if I want to read this, but I got it out on the subscription and I might give it a go. I haven't read any, I'm trying to branch out with my horror this year, and I haven't really read a book like that, so I guess we'll see if I enjoy it or not, because I don't enjoy movies like that, but that's more the visual aspect. The next one is Dark Whispers by Jo Macgregor. This is a thriller, and it's about a patient who, I don't know if she's a psychiatric patient, I think she is, and she claims that her doctor has been abusing her, and then an investigator turns up and decides to investigate the case, and the investigator and the doctor get into like a psychological battle of wits. Again, don't know how good this will be. I'm hoping it'll be good, but the Kindle Unlimited books tend to be a bit hit and miss when they're not, you know, really well-known books. So the premises can sound great, but sometimes they're not executed well. But hopefully this one will be. This one is also a priority, and that is A Storytelling of Ravens by R.H. Dixon. This is a really weird name. I don't know where the name comes from, and hopefully it'll be explained by the book, but this is about 4 people get dumped in a cabin in the woods. They've been kidnapped and they just wake up in this cabin, and I assume they're trapped there. One of them is a British actress, one of them is a girl in a wheelchair, One of them is another actress or actor, but the actress doesn't know them. They're like a famous soap actor or something like that. And then there is a film producer who the main character, who's the actress, does know. This just sounds like it's going to be interesting. It says there's loads of secrets that the people in the cabin have, and it'll be a kind of like high pressure, contained, creepy story with any luck. And the final one is In the Dark by Andreas Pfluger. I think that's how you pronounce the surname. Apologies if it's not. Not like they're going to be watching this video, but even so. And this is about a police officer who went blind and lost her sight and had to leave her job. She's now blind and she gets a call from her old boss who says that they've just arrested a serial killer, and he says he'll confess but only to her. So I assume there's going to be some twist where the serial killer is someone she knows, and that's why they're going to confess to her because she can't see them. Hopefully it'll be better and more complex than that, but we shall see if I get around to reading it. So that is all the books on my February TBR. Like I said, it's a bit of a weird one because there's loads of readathons going on and I'm not really sure what I want to read myself. Let me know if you're taking part in any of these readathons. If you've got TBR videos, link them down below because I'd love to watch them. Maybe it'll give me some ideas about what I want to take part in. Particularly let me know if you're going to do Thrillerathon because I'd love to get some people to talk about that with. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out massively. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Hello again, so I am back in this terrible lighting with basically all my makeup on because I am a complete idiot and I forgot to mention that I'm doing a buddy read as part of VaLITines. I keep wanting to say a thon, I don't know if it is a thon, but VaLITines anyway. So there's like a thing where you sign up and you got paired up at random, and I got paired up with the lovely Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books and the lovely Kayla from On the Fritz, so I'm super excited about that. This is my first ever buddy read. We were all into horror, so we decided to do A Head Full of Ghosts by Tremblay. I've got, I think it's Cabin at the End of the World on my TBR as well, which is by him. I haven't read anything by him, but he's a fairly well-known horror author from what I've gathered. And A Head Full of Ghosts is about a family whose daughter is diagnosed with schizophrenia, and it gets suggested to them that they go through an exorcism to try and help her symptoms. They agree to it, but they end up accidentally being on like a reality TV show about possession and stuff. And then there's a section set in the present day which is about the sister of the girl who had schizophrenia, and she's being interviewed, and it's kind of examining how that show affected her life, how the schizophrenia affected her life. It's got a lot of things about interaction with science and psychology and religion and horror, and it all sounds really interesting. So I'm reading the Kindle, I've got the ebook version, they've both got the audiobooks, and yeah, I'm super excited for that. I cannot wait to do my first buddy read, and yeah, so I basically just wanted to add that because I forgot it like a moron. So once again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Oh, I'll link both their channels both down below, by the way. I forgot to mention that as well. You can tell I'm tired. Anyway, goodbye.